Welcome to the IELTS Secrets podcast, where we unravel the mysteries of the IELTS speaking exam. I'm Neil, your trusted English instructor from New Zealand. Today we're delving into the fascinating topic of the growth of cities. Let's explore some common questions and learn how to structure your responses effectively using simple templates. Question 1. Could you compare life in your country today with life in your country 50 years ago? When tackling this question, it's vital to provide a clear comparison. Let's use our speaking template. Well, the major difference between modern life and that of the past would be, and then mention the difference. For example, while my grandparents, and then describe what they did, my friends and I, and then describe what you and your peers do. The second major shift has been made in, and then mention another difference, while those who lived 50 years ago, and then describe their circumstances, people now can, and then describe their current situation. Here's a Band 9 speaking response based on this template.
Could you compare life in your country today with life in your country 50 years ago?
Well, the major difference between modern life and that of the past would be technological advancements. For example, while my grandparents relied on typewriters and snail mail to communicate, my friends and I use smartphones and social media platforms to stay connected instantly. The second major shift has been made in transportation. While those who lived 50 years ago depended largely on public transportation or personal vehicles, people now can utilize ride-sharing apps and electric scooters for convenient and eco-friendly travel.
Question 2. Why have so many people nowadays gone to live in big cities? Now let's tackle this question using our speaking template. The first potential reason for this change would be, and then mention the reason. For example, provide an example supporting the reason. Secondly, and then mention another reason. If, and then mention a condition, then mention the outcome. Here's a Band 9 speaking response based on this template.
Why have so many people nowadays gone to live in big cities?
The first potential reason for this change would be better job opportunities and career prospects. For example, major cities often have a concentration of industries and companies, offering a wide range of employment options and higher salaries compared to rural areas. Secondly, big cities provide access to diverse amenities and services, including healthcare, education, and entertainment. If someone is seeking educational opportunities, then living in a big city with renowned universities and libraries would be advantageous.
Question 3. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that the world has so many huge cities today? Let's use our speaking template for this question. This is indeed a highly controversial topic. On the one hand, and then mention one perspective, for example, and then provide an example supporting the perspective. On the other hand, mention another perspective. For instance, provide an example supporting the perspective. Here's a Band 9 speaking response based on this template.
Do you think it is a good thing or a bad thing that the world has so many huge cities today?
This is indeed a highly controversial topic. On the one hand, the presence of huge cities promotes economic growth and cultural exchange. For example, cities serve as hubs for innovation and creativity, attracting diverse talents and fostering collaboration among industries. On the other hand, the rapid urbanization of the world can lead to environmental degradation and social inequality. For instance, overcrowding in cities may strain resources and infrastructure, leading to pollution and the unequal distribution of wealth and opportunities.
Question 4. What are some of the future problems that might happen with the growth of so many big cities? Now, let's use our speaking template. The first concern that comes to mind is, and then mention the first concern, it might be a major problem for those who, then describe who might be affected. the second challenge that big cities may face in the future might be, and then mention the second concern. Here is a Band 9 speaking response based on this template.
What are some of the future problems that might happen with the growth of so many big cities?
The first concern that comes to mind is infrastructure strain. It might be a major problem for those who live in big cities, as the existing infrastructure may struggle to accommodate the growing population, leading to issues such as traffic congestion and inadequate public services. The second challenge that big cities may face in the future might be social inequality, where disparities in income and access to resources could widen, exacerbating social tensions and creating unrest.
That's it for today's episode of the IELTS Secrets podcast. Remember to use these templates to structure your responses effectively and maximize your speaking score. IELTS students, don't forget to send your audio responses to our website for personalized feedback from our experienced IELTS instructors. Keep practicing, and until next time, happy studying!